Welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. Today, I am talking with Karinna. Karina's been in my life and world for quite some time, and I am so excited to share her with all of you because she is a special gem. She's one of my students, but more importantly, she is just an amazing human. So welcome in, Karinna.
Thank you, Tay. So excited to do this podcast with you. I feel
I
like a
know.
celebrity.
Well, you look like one. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Karinna came into my world in, I can never remember, 2022,
Yeah.
2020, the end of 2022. We've been working together. She found me on TikTok and she joined my program and we've been working together ever since. But I want her to tell you about her life. Who's Karinna? Tell us everything, who you are, what you do, who you help.
Oh, so I am a mom. Like I'm a special needs mom. So I am divorced. I was married for a very long time. And currently living in the Midwest. I am actually from the West Coast because I grew up in Las Vegas and I am living in Illinois, which is very different for me. And the seasons are very different because in Vegas you have two seasons.
Mhm.
So yes, I have a stepdaughter, and then I have two daughters of my own with my ex-husband. So both of my daughters are special needs kids. So my life is pretty busy when it comes to work, business, and just being a mom.
Yeah.
So I currently am a CAT scan technologist, and I've been doing that for the last 21 years. It's been a long time. Sometimes I forget. Um, so I've worked in like all aspects of radiology and just you know done different jobs to advance my career and to just really impact and help people, especially you come to the hospital and nobody wants to be there. They're sick and it's not one of the most pleasant experiences.
Exactly.
So it just it's really great, and especially just transitioning into this next step in my life, it's been really challenging and it's been really different but exciting at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's kind of go back here because I'm also in the Midwest and I was born and raised here. And then the first time I ever went to Vegas, I was like in shell shock. I was like, this is a whole new world. What have I entered into? It was so fun, but it is so different. So coming into now living in the Midwest, what brought you here, by the way?
So at the time, like I had just one child when I was living in Las Vegas. And my ex-husband at the time had this idea, and he says, "Well, maybe we can give the kids a better life. Maybe Vegas is just not so great. Maybe, they can have better healthcare, better schools, better everything."
Mm-hmm.
Plus his family lived out here. And on a crazy notion, I said, "Oh, okay, well, why not?" And knowing that I was moving away from my family, moving away from my parents, my sister, my nephew, just everybody, and it was tough to make that decision.
Oh, I bet.
But I knew that once I kind of got myself established here, I could pretty much adapt and then just branch out and say, okay, I can make it here.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times the way life happens, because life happens, and I know you always say life is 50-50. And there were some challenges. And then, of course, I ended up divorced, and then I ended up back on my own with two little girls. And I mean, they were very young at the time. And it was a very just uncomfortable, very scary moment. So I didn't know what I was going to do. And I wanted to go back home to my family. However, I couldn't because, I have 50-50 custody with him now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been challenging, but it was very different because I remember walking into the very first hospital I worked at when I first moved here, and they had done this introduction and they said, "Oh, so, who are you? Where do you come from?" And everybody, came from different areas. Here
Mm-hmm.
I am, I stand up and I go, "Oh, well, I just moved here from Las Vegas." The look on everybody's face was like, "Are you serious?"
Why did you come here?
Right? They're like, "It's so nice out there. Why didn't you just stay there?" So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but he has a large family and they're very heavily involved. when it comes to the kids, because there's a lot of grandchildren.
Yeah.
So I just said, okay, well, I'll just make life here and I'll just adapt and I'll figure this out somehow. So
Yeah.
that's how I ended up here.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell everyone how or why you decided to become a coach and kind of like how you got into your own business now.
So I knew that I always wanted to start a business. I have had that idea, I want to say probably the last 10 years. And I always knew I wanted to start a business. It's just I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And a lot of people had told me, well, maybe you should teach. You're really good at what you do. Why don't you teach?
Mhm.
And you could probably coach people. I said, oh, no, that's crazy. Like, who does that? Like, I had that just idea like, yeah, nobody's going to pay for that.
Yeah.
So after I had, finished the process of my divorce, I really, because I had gone to therapy and I really kind of got out of that just dark place that sometimes people go through. And I said, okay, I have to do something that's going to be impactful. Like, I want something better for my life. I don't want to just go to work, take care of kids, come home, and then have nothing to show for it. I
Yeah.
said, I really want to do something else. There's something else that I'm meant to do.
Mhm.
So what I started doing is somebody said, "Well, maybe you should teach." And I said, maybe let me tap into this. Let's figure this out.
Mhm.
So I did, and somebody had turned me on to this company where they provide like continuing education courses. And so I signed on with them. It was a 2-year contract, and then after that, I could do whatever, I wished.
Yeah.
Even though they still own the rights to that course. However, I still get royalties from it every month.
Oh, cool.
So I said, okay. And so I did it. It was really amazing. And I recorded the course. The lady who was helping me out, she was awesome. And I was like, after I was done, I was like, I need more. This is just not enough for me. I need more. Like, I need to make more of an impact
Yeah.
and I need to do more things. And so what I noticed is in my industry, there's lack of coaching and mentoring. It's like they just send you out there and they're like, okay, well, here you go. Here's a course, here's a book, here you go.
Mhm.
And I'm like, no, you can't do that. Like, that doesn't impact people and that doesn't make people want to be better. So I decided, I said, I want something more. And of course, me late night scrolling because I can't sleep, being a mom and I can't sleep. And that's where I found you. And I said, there's something about this that resonates with me. And I think she can help me get to where I need to be. I think she can help me. And I just was like, all right, I'm going to binge everything she's got out there. Like, I was like, okay, podcast. I was like, let me do the thing. And I remember taking your course for the very first time. And I'm like, you know, I think this is it. I
Mhm.
think this is the person that's really going to say, get off your ass and let's do it. Okay. Because I just sat on ideas for so long.
Yeah.
Coaching and mentoring is something that's missing in my industry. Like, people need this. And like every day, like even yesterday, I had, one of the newer people, they're like, oh my gosh, you are so good at this. And I said, well, this is what I do for a living. And I plan on doing this so that when I leave the hospital, this is going to be like my full-time gig. And I'm trying to
Yeah.
do that. So I said, I'm just gonna go in and I remember the money part scared me. It did. It scared me
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot. And I go, okay. I like sat down with myself. I said, okay, well, how can I do this? Like, I can do a payment plan. Like, how can I make this happen?
Mhm.
Like, I can sit here and like do nothing, like most people do,
Mhm.
or say I wish, or I could, or maybe in 6 months. I was like, how do I do the thing now? And I said, okay, well, I started looking around my garage, shit you not. And I said, what can I sell? Like, I have a ton of crap in here and this shit needs to go. So let me just sell it and I will just pay a payment plan. I will cut expenses. I don't care what I need to do because obviously I need help to do it.
Yeah.
And I did. And I'm like so grateful for it because it's like changed everything that I've like done, considering from where I started until like now.
Yeah, so I want to touch on a few things that you said, which I think are so, so good, is that they throw a course at you or a book at you and it's information and it's like there's no accountability, there's no coaching, there's no hand holding, there's no like taking you through the process, right? And I'm such a firm believer in like this is why coaching is so important, right? Like it's not just a course, it's not just information. It's like truly taking people through this transformation. But I will never forget the day that Karinna DM'd me and she was like, I'm going to sell stuff in my garage and I'm going to join your program. And I was like, you go, girl. Like, because there's so many people who are like, well, maybe, and they just always sit on these ideas. And when I get the money, and they don't, right? They don't get the money. And when they do get the money, then they keep doing what they've always done with the money, which is spend it or do something else with it. Right. And you were like, no, I'm going to find a way. And you did. And now you've enrolled in your second year in the program, which like to think about the Karinna that walked into this program day one to who you are now. And it's only been a year and 2 months. You're like a whole new person in so many ways, your life, your business, your mindset. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, I don't want to cry every time I talk to students. I'm like, I'm gonna cry. I just love you
My
guys so
gosh.
much. I'm so proud of you. But it's it's proof. You are proof of what is possible in this life. And for all of the people listening who are like, well, I have a 9 to 5 or I have kids, like Karinna has a 9 to 5. Karinna has two special needs kids. She is a single mom and she still decided to invest and build her business. Like, how fucking powerful are you?
I mean, I just sometimes I surprise myself. Like my sister is my biggest cheerleader. She is like the biggest cheerleader, and she's like, I'm so proud of you. Because sometimes we get those family members that have their opinions and their judgments. And I've had a lot of that because I know I've come to calls and I've said, so and so has said this. And you've always told me, why does that matter?
Mhm.
Why does it matter? And, the reservations that I had when I stopped posting stuff on TikTok, to like really put the message out there, it's like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't. And people are always going to have something shitty to say. They
Mhm.
do.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, you can say whatever you want. Like, why are you commenting?
Yeah.
And it just, like, I had to make sure that I was like, all right, I have to do the thing because it puts you in a place where it's like, okay, what's it going to be? You want to
Yeah.
continue living this life or do you want something better? But I think sometimes people skip the hard work. They don't want to do the hard work and they want to make it easy and
Yep.
say, oh, well, if it comes to me, then I'll do it. No, like you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I want something to change in my life. I
Mhm.
want something better. I don't want to be, my kids to know, oh, well, mom just did this. And then it's like you're not being present to all the important things in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just I didn't want to be that person. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this. And if it doesn't work,
Mhm.
then I can say I tried. And then, hey, if I have to continue working a job, that's fine.
Yeah.
I at least have to give it my all. And I know when I was like, okay, I didn't believe in myself and I'm like, maybe this is not working. And I was like, all right, let me just keep trying. Let me just keep going. Let me keep doing this. And then when I actually started making sales and making money, I was like, okay, all right. All
Mhm.
that stuff that I said to myself, it's not true. I was like, it's not
Right?
true because it works. And I was like, I know it works because this is the proof. So
Yeah. And I also want to share with everyone listening too, like Karinna had so many opportunities to quit through this process because of like life, kids, ex-husband. Like there were so many reasons to quit and so much proof of this isn't working that she could have quit and given up. But Karinna came to every single call. Like there has been, I could probably count on one hand how many calls you've missed in the last year and 3 months. And she has two kids and she has a job. Like, and she still came to the coaching calls and she still implemented the work. Like, this is true proof of what is possible for your life when you commit to showing up and doing the hard shit and showing up regardless if you think you have proof today or not. And now you get to reap the rewards. And now this year is like already kicking off with like showing you this is proof of all the foundations you just laid over the last year. It's all coming full circle now.
yeah, and I'm super excited to see what comes because I gave myself a goal, for June.
Mhm.
that I was going to get to that six-figure mark, and I'm
Oh,
working on it.
girl, you are going to be there.
So I gave myself a goal. I'm like, nope, I don't care what I have to do. Like, we're going to do it,
Yeah.
and I gave myself a couple goals to make sure I hit that 100K and that I drop down part-time. So if I choose to work, I can. If I choose not to, I don't.
Yeah. And
So
for the
those
people listening to, like, we're going to get into some juicy details about how much money and clients she has signed. However, you might be thinking, like, well, why did she not quit her 9 to 5? But I want to say that when Karinna goes into her 9 to 5, she's literally networking and getting clients all day long
true
because
story.
yeah, she helps CT techs, be able to walk into any hospital and to be employable. But not only that, like be super well trained and educated in this field. And so when she goes to work as a CT tech, she's building lots of relationships in order to make sales. So like she gets paid to network essentially.
Pretty much. I mean, I even come to calls while I'm at work. I like hide
Yep.
out in a closet. And
Yep.
like if I need coaching, like I will turn on my camera and say, okay, Tay, I got 5 minutes.
Yep.
Here's what I need help on.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite calls too when I'm at work.
Right. And that's the thing too. I think that just like shows your dedication to like, I'm not making excuses just because I'm at my job. She literally goes into the closet. She's like, Tay, I'm at work. I need coached. Like, because we tell people, if you want coached, put it in the chat. She's like, I'm here. I need coached. Bring me in, coach. And I'm like, let's do the thing. Like, she does not make excuses just because she's at work. And so I think too, this has like been a huge testament to now the results that have come full circle. But I want you to share with everyone, what has your experience been inside of coach school and the community?
Oh, I can't say enough about those women in the community. They are so welcoming, wonderful, loving. But let me tell you, they will not let you sit on your bullshit. Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. None of the women in the community, like if you think they're just going to be like, oh, your best, they'll be your bestie, but they're going to tell
Mhm.
you the truth.
Yep.
And that I think is one of the most powerful things because community is everything. I think that just being in that space, I have felt more comfortable coming with all the mind drama, all the situations, all the just all the stuff that just goes on in life that I feel like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world and I like need somebody to talk me off the ledge.
Yeah.
So I find it very empowering that you can just go into Slack, you can just, put out there whatever it is. And these women just come and they love you, they support you, they say, okay, let's try to figure this out. How can we, figure out a different solution? Okay,
Yeah.
do you really think that? Is that just thoughts? Because those are not facts, like
Mhm.
concrete facts. And that is one of the biggest pieces that I've learned that I know I have a lot of thoughts and those thoughts are really not facts because they're really not true.
Yeah.
And we tend to think, oh, well, this is just the way it is. No, no, it's not because there are different solutions to everything.
Mhm.
And sometimes you have to make difficult choices. And it's tough, but I absolutely appreciate because the women are just super supportive. There's no judgment. And because we know you go to friends, family, and sometimes they judge you for like the smallest things.
Yeah.
There's no judgment there. You're free to speak on whatever it is then on your mind, and everybody just comes together and they are so helpful and so loving, which is so powerful to me because, especially women in spaces, we want to feel safe and we want to
Yes.
feel supported and validated. And I just get that from that community of women. Like, I don't feel ashamed. I
Mhm.
don't feel like I'm not supportive. And if somebody doesn't have an answer, somebody else will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too like such a power of group coaching. And literally every time, like I have brought so many students on, every time we talk about the community, I literally want to cry because like I cannot explain how powerful these women are. Like sitting in this room of women, like, sure, maybe not everyone's to a six-figure business, but these women are the most incredible, powerful, brave women. And I grew up with a single mom, and we grew up in a small town and it was very cliquey and it was very like keeping up with the Jones kind of energy, right? But my mom and I lived on the outskirts in a trailer. So we were definitely not keeping up with anybody. We were poor. And I just know my mom like very much kept distance from all these women because they were catty and backstabby, and she didn't have friends in this community because my mom was like, I'm a single mom working 3 jobs and like we're poor. And these women are like, living higher class. And like that created this sense with my mom of like, she was like, you can't trust anybody. Nobody's your friend. Like she would project that energy onto me of like, these women are not your friends. Like, don't get into these women communities because they're going to be catty and jealous. And I grew up thinking that. And then to get into this space and realizing like having a group of women who care about you is like the most powerful thing you can have. And then now whenever people come to my program, God, I just want to cry every time. It's like, these women are like, this is the best community of women I've literally ever had in my life. And I feel the same. Like I could come to these women for anything that I need. Like, and it's crazy because like almost everyone in this program is older than me and I'm the coach, but like we all pour in and feed to each other in different ways. And we're all mothers and like we've been through the shit, we get it. But we all just like have this really deep love and understanding for each other that I cannot explain. And it's just so powerful. And so every time we talk about this community, I literally cry because I'm like, I literally love these people and I've never even met them. And they're like literally my best friends. They're some of the most amazing women I've ever met in my whole life. And it's all because we've decided to start businesses. Like
Yeah.
it just blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that like I researched lots of coaches before I decided to invest in a coach because I think it's very important that you have somebody who not only coaches you through not only business but life in general. Because there's a difference between a therapist and just somebody who coaches and mentors you to get you to be where you want to be. And I'll tell you, I don't I believe 100%. And I'm probably going to cry. We're all going to cry on this episode. I honestly believe because the last coach that I was looking at and they wanted like this $15,000 investment and I'm like, no, like you're not even bringing any value. Like I'm not even seeing you as the coach. Like I don't want to see like 10 different people on a call. And like, I don't mind the whole group coaching because I think group coaching is great,
Yes.
but like, where are you? Like, where's your authenticity? Like, where is your vulnerability? That's what I was looking for. Somebody who has a story to tell and that I can resonate to.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, like, I was like, okay, I have to figure out who this coach is, what she's all about, what does she do? I want to know about her life. Like, because she has a similar story to I do. We were single moms, in like really shitty marriages.
Yep.
And it just something was like, all right, you have to know what this person is about. And I'll tell you, like every day, I'm like, Tay saved my life. She did. And I don't think that I would be anywhere. I don't think I would be as successful as I am now because of you. I told you I was going to cry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Like oh my God, I got to get my life together.
So I am just so thankful because like I'm making sales, I'm making money. And I know I've always talked in the community about my struggles and with like divorce attorneys and all the debts and like finally everything is turning around. Everything is just going in like a positive direction. Like my life freaking crashed. And I was like, all right, like, what's it gonna be? Like, I gotta do something, and Tay's like, get off your ass and do the fucking thing. Let's go. Okay. She's like, I love you, but you need to do something like now, or else you're gonna lose your house. You're gonna lose this. Like, come on. And those things were like really into perspective for me. And like I said, no, I need to go with this coach because nobody else is going to be present and just be able to help me in a way that she can. And that's why I was like so drawn. I was like, I gotta figure this out because this is probably going to be the best decision of my life. And I know a lot of people, like when I, go on my social media and I was like, my coach had some really good, and they're like, why do you need that? I'm like, you don't understand, but I do.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I can say that somebody who I've never met in person, but I come to calls, I do the work. And yes, sometimes life gets in the way, kids get in the way. And yes, sometimes business does take a little bit of a back burner, but I always come back and I say, okay, I got to do X, Y, and Z. And I do. And I do. I come to calls and nobody cares. I could be driving in the car and I can
Yep.
just listen, and I will replay those calls and be like, all right, these are the questions I have. This is what I need.
Yep.
And I think that's so powerful. And I just wish more coaches in the industry would be like that. I really wish, because it's so empowering. And I think more people would want to work with coaches like yourself, because it's very empowering. And it's like, you make an impact in somebody's life when, you know, things are going right, life is going good. And yeah, like life could be shitty tomorrow. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, this happened, or, whatever. But it's like the whole self-coaching, it's like, all right, let's stop for a second and let's do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that keeps me going every single day. And I always look forward to the calls. I'm like, all right, let me see what I need to talk about now. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, I just love you.
I love you too. And thank you for sharing that. This has been a really long journey of coaching, and my mission today and forever is, no matter how much money I make, is that I show up for my students. Like, people are paying to work with me. They're not paying yet. And yes, I have team, and yes, I have team that I trained, and yes, they do show up on calls. However, you still get coaching from me. And, I'm on a huge mission to change the coaching industry, but I cannot tell you how many times I have cried to my team that, like, am I even making a difference? Does it even matter what I'm doing? Do people care? Or do people just want to work with bigger name influencer coaches who don't show up because that's who they go hire anyway?
Right.
And then when I have conversations with you and my team, and like literally so many people have told me, like, Tay, you have changed my life. Like, sometimes it's hard to be like, me, like little old me, like, and I know what I'm doing is impactful. And like this, you guys are such proof of that. And like, it just blows my mind every single time I hear it, because I'm just so humbled by all of you. And I really deeply, deeply care about my students and their success. And I know that this is a two-person job. It's me showing up and doing what I can do, and then you showing up and doing what you can do. And when we do that, we make huge changes. And not everyone understands coaching, right? Like, not everyone understands like how a coach can truly change your life. And I went through years of therapy, and coaching was next level, right? Like, it was better than therapy for me. And to be able to provide that level of life coaching, mindset coaching, and strategy and business all in one is like, we're just not seeing it in the industry in the way that I'm doing it. But I can't tell you how many times I'm like, am I even doing the right thing? And then to hear you say that, I'm like bawling. Like, this whole episode, I'm just crying.
Yeah. No,
Crazy.
it's just really impactful. And like, I was like, honestly, I was very skeptical in the beginning. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, I remember my first call and I'm like, okay, I'm a little intimidated. I don't know. Cause I'm like not even close, probably not even a fourth of where I want to be in business,
Yeah.
you know? And I just was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. And like, I was very unsure in the beginning, but I remember taking like one of your courses and I was like, okay, I know I can do this. I can do
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
Okay. I just have to believe in myself. And like, I was intimidated, for a bit. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not this far. And I think sometimes, like, even when new people come in, it could be a little bit intimidating,
Yeah.
but no, because everybody's on a different level. But then again, we always have to remember within ourselves, okay, well, when we started, this is where we were.
Yeah.
Because I always love, the graph that you put up.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, you have to remember like where you started. Like, don't even worry about where some of us are, because I'll tell you, it was a long, hard, shitty road just to get to where I am now.
Yep.
And it's like, there was a lot of like mind drama and a lot of shitty thoughts and a lot of, just negative talk. And it's like, and not taking action and worrying about what people thought. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the thing too. Like when you do come into the community, it can be overwhelming. There's, 30 eyes looking at you and people are on different levels. But the best part about it is no one cares. Like nobody cares if you're on a different level. They're like, girl, I have the best advice for you. Or like, I was there. I totally remember. Or like, it's just, I cannot explain. Like, I've never been in a community like this. And I'm so proud to call it mine. But I obviously can't take credit. Like, these women are freaking amazing. Like, you guys are amazing. Okay, I got to get off my soapbox so we can finish up this episode. People are probably like, oh my God, what is going on? Okay, tell me, what specific tools did you learn or use in this program that have been like life-changing for you?
I think what was life changing for me, honestly, the mindset piece.
Mhm.
I have such a terrible time with mindset. Like the whole business strategy and everything. I may not know everything about business, but you know what? I'll review it like 500 times and I
Mhm.
say, okay, and I just implement it piece by piece because
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yep.
The mindset piece was a huge thing for me because I had a lot of like mental blocks, and there's a lot of mind drama that like really just surface as far as like, from childhood and, things in like my industry. It's just a lot of things that would hold me back from putting out content to really, teaching this master class or doing, an Instagram live or posting a TikTok, that's
Mhm.
educational for people. The mindset piece is one of the biggest tools that was really helpful to get past all that and
Mhm.
just put it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there because
Mhm.
it's going to resonate with somebody.
Yeah.
Even if it's one person, that's great. And just if nobody buys, fine. We'll just keep doing it until it works because
Yeah.
eventually people are going to be like, all right, let me see what this is about.
Exactly.
And, they get interested. But the mindset piece, huge game changer for me.
Yeah.
Huge, huge.
Love it. Okay, tell everyone what has changed since joining the program, your life, your business. I mean, you kind of already have. And then tell everyone how many sales have you made? We're in March of 2024. And just from January 2024, how many sales have you made?
Okay. So I think I did the calculations this morning. I think as far as where we're up to in sales, $8,000. So yeah, I've made $8,000 already.
Oh my God. And you have signed how many clients?
So that's the other piece. So I did sign one client into my coaching program. So this is exciting. And then I have like another potential. I'm just kind of working through some of the pieces with this other client. So yes, I did sign one person on. So I'm like super excited about that. I
Yeah.
am. So yeah, that was actually not hard to do. It actually was somebody that I used to work with back out in Las Vegas, and she has taken over the CT department and really needed help. And she's like, listen, I know that you do this. Would you just coach me? And I was like, yeah. So, I told her exactly what I do, what I'm doing, this and that. And she's like, all right, where do I sign up? I was like, okay. So I just like
Amazing.
sent her the link and there we go. Yeah.
Amazing. And from January to, I know we calculated like mid-February, you had like over 40 sales.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think now, oh my gosh, I think now, what was it? I think it's like 60 or 70, I want to say. Yeah.
60 or
Eh,
70 sales in less than 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Insane. Karina, holy
Yeah.
shit. What?
Yeah. So now it's like, all right. So I'm just trying to fill more seats into my coaching program. So I know how many seats I think I'm for this first round that I'm going to do for this launch. I'm going to sell 10 seats for my coaching program. So I have like 9 available now. Well,
Which,
possibly 8, depending
which,
on if this person signs on or not. So
yeah, which is
yeah,
going to be filled. Like we already
yeah.
know it.
Like we know. So yes. So I figured, between like schedule, with work and kids, I can fill 10 seats.
Mhm.
for this first round on my launch, and then I'll probably do another 10 for the second round. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So depending on life and kids and all that. So just to make sure I have enough time and don't overwhelm myself with everything. So yeah.
Absolutely. Karinna, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for being here today. Thanks for coming on and crying with me and sharing your story and all the things. Tell everyone who's listening, where can they find you? Where should they come and check you out, follow you, all the things?
All right. So I am on Instagram. So
Mhm.
you can follow me at the CT Educator. I also have a TikTok at the CT Educator as well. If you're
And a
interested
podcast.
in a podcast, yes, I do have a podcast. It's also called the CT Educator. I talk about all the CT things. Um, New episodes drop every Tuesday. So come on over, listen, subscribe, follow. It's good stuff.
Yes, everyone who's listening, go follow Karinna. She is an amazing human. We will put all of it below in the show notes. You guys can just easily click her stuff. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening, and we will chat with you on the next episode.